the blessing of God's power and God's peace. It is Monday, May the 4th. You know, yesterday, while making my notes for the daily YouTube video, I initially wrote April instead of May. I did it again this morning, April instead of May. The mistake was corrected both times, but are you like me? Where did April go? For me, this will go down as the year of the lost springtime. I really like this borrowed, I'll put that in quotes, series I've been using regarding blessings we can discover during COVID-19. Today is the third in that series. Today is the blessing of God's power and God's peace. We all know the story of Jesus speaking peace to the stormy waters in the Gospel of Mark, but we know how that story ends. It's easy for us to forget that the disciples did not know how it was going to end. They were in fear for their very lives. Mark 4:37 says, "A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat so that it was nearly swamped." Jesus' followers were terrified, and rightfully so. They were on the verge of drowning. We often think we would have been more faithful, more believing, more trustful. After all, the disciples witnessed numerous events of Jesus, the miracle man, but the disciples were scared to death. We all want to experience God's peace, but we cannot experience His peace until we first comprehend His power. And we usually do not comprehend His power without experiencing a storm. These two attributes of God go hand in hand, power and peace. I agree with the following statement. When you read the story of the Bible, chaos is never evidence of God's absence. It is the arena in which He moves. It is where He dwells. If that was true then, it is even true now. God's power dwells in chaos because that is where we see Him most clearly. His power is most evident when we recognize how powerless we are. When we realize that without Him, we would drown. A global pandemic that has brought civilization to a standstill is the perfect storm for God to display His power. And it is the perfect place for us to experience His power, which is a peace the world cannot offer. A peace that transcends our circumstances and our understanding. John 14:27 says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." And then Philippians 4:7 says, "The peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." Don't miss the opportunity to grasp the magnitude of God's power in this crisis and to receive His peace. God always seems to put an emphasis on stillness. We get busy with doing. We get busy with going. We get busy with worrying. But stillness can solve a lot of our woes. Be still and remember that He is God. Psalm 46:10. The blessing of God's power and God's peace. Rest in that blessing. See you tomorrow.